I'm going to give you a question I think you should ask today. And the question is why? You've set this business up and you know what you want to do and you know how you're going to do it and you probably know your business plan inside out. The question I want to ask you is this, is why are you doing this? Business is a weird thing. Most people get a job and go 9 to 5 and you could do that. Easy. Why have you set this business up? What is the goal of this? What do you want? Is it about spending more time with your friends and family? Is it about a lifestyle? Is it about doing good in the world? Ask yourself that why. Businesses that get lost forget what the journey is about, where they're actually going. So my fundamental question to anyone who wants to be successful in business is know your why, know your end point, and make sure you're focused on that.
Small Biz Digital Media presents Connect, Convince, Convert, Inspiring Business Success Stories with Dave Bird, Steve Ennis and Martin Hill.
So I'd like to welcome our guest speaker today, Peter the Speaker. Great to have you here. Big welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
I'm really curious to know, I believe you floored the Dragons on Dragon's Den a few years back, so please tell us about that. Yeah, floored the Dragons. That's what the BBC called me. The entrepreneur who floored the Dragons with his outrageously confident pitch. I think it was more about my structure. But yeah, they seemed to warm to me. I went on with this persona of sort of the crazy inventor, fought my way to the top. Well, I say the top, fought my way to Deborah Meaden, really. And she invested, offered me the money. So yeah, it was a great result. So what was your critical element of your success there with the Dragons?
Okay, so if you're pitching anything to anyone, success really comes down to one key factor. Well before you get on stage, you've got to know your audience. So you've got to know what will push their buttons, what are they into, what are they motivated by. And if you know that, you construct your pitch around what they want to hear. What outcome do they want? Audience first, not you. So here I was pitching pet products, and now I'm a public speaker. What I found after the den is the story became more valuable than the products. People would pay me more money to go and speak to groups of people, tutor them and skill them on how to pitch and how to price and how to make products. I had no idea that story was valuable. For me, I spent years, I eventually discovered how to do it. But that eventually became more valuable than the products. And I enjoyed it more than being in a warehouse assembling products and posting them. So yeah, my present and possibly my future will be set on the stage rather than in the warehouse.
So would you see yourself more as an entrepreneur that made some really great progress with a range of pet products rather than a business that sells or sold pet products?
Yeah, and this is interesting. So I've moved away from what I originally did. But this is completely normal. I can tell anyone here who's starting your business journey right now, you will not be doing this. Whatever you think you're doing this year, you won't be doing it in 5 years. You'll add new products, you'll add new services, you'll see opportunities, and you'll grow. And it's completely natural and normal. We know Richard Branson still going with Virgin. When was the last time we had a Virgin Coke? That's been a while. Lord Sugar, his internet dial-up telephone device. Well, I haven't seen that around for a while, but it evolves. And that's just normal. Business is like a life. Maybe you start as a child, you've got your dreams, your ambitions and what you do, you grow, you develop. And I suspect in 10 years' time, I'll be doing something completely different again.
I believe you do a lot of coaching now, you do a lot of public speaking. Pitching is part of your speciality. So how do you prepare for it, plan for it, and then what do you do afterwards?
Okay, so preparation, 3 questions. Question 1, what do you want? So you're pitching to try and get a result, an outcome. You're trying to influence an audience. Maybe it's that you want them to buy your product or you want them to visit your website or you just want them to think about an issue differently. So number 1, define what you want.
If I can just interject there, it could even be used when you're pitching for investors. So if any business owners out there are looking to pitch to investors for funds, the same principles apply.
I use this method to train my cat. Yeah, this method will work for anybody. You want your children to eat vegetables, you want your partner to take you on a nice holiday, use this pitching method. It works on everyone, even non-humans.
Tell me about the pitching, your preparation, your structure, etc.
So we've got the first thing, what do you want? Then you move to the second question, which I alluded to a moment ago. What do the audience want? Now, for a pitch to work, there has to be an overlap. So you have to have what you want and what the audience want. There has to be some meet point. Ideally, if you can find the right audience, they overlap fully. Best pet sales pitch, you've got a product that you want to sell and they want to buy it. So the second part you do in your pitch, what do the audience want? And is there some meeting point, some place that I can pitch? So that's your second point of preparation. If there's no overlap, your pitch is going to fail. So second question. Final question you ask is this. Can the audience give you what you want? So you want something, the audience might be happy to give it to you, but are they in a position to give it to you? Very often we ask for investment from investors that aren't in a position to invest. We speak to people in organisations that can't deliver. Can the audience actually give you what you want? And you're looking for a positive on all three. You go on that stage or you go and speak to that person, you make that phone call, you know what you want, you know what they want, and they can give it to you. Now you're in a position to potentially start your pitch.
Could you give us an example?
I can give you more than an example. I can give you a method to pitch anything to anyone in any length of time. So when you're pitching, whether it's on stage, live, one-on-one, over a telephone, the first thing you say is who you are. So in my pitch, I would say, hi, I'm Peter, the speaker. Second thing you say is what you do. Now, in a 30-second pitch, 4 seconds is all you're going to need. You simply say something along the lines of, I deliver innovative business workshop. Again, you move on. No one really cares what your name is or what you do. So in a 30-second pitch, you've spent about 7 seconds doing that. The third step is where your pitch will succeed or fail. You explain why whatever it is you're pitching is awesome. So if I'm pitching myself, I would say something along the lines of, I've successfully pitched in TV's Dragon's Den. I regularly get the highest praise and feedback from my audiences, and every venue that's ever booked me to speak has rebooked me, something like that. The final step is the step that everyone misses when they pitch. You tell the audience what you want. So if I'm speaking to a group of people, I would say, I'd like you to come and talk to me after the session, and then I have the words, especially. So use this in your pitch. Who's your target customer, your target audience? Especially if you book public speakers. So it's who are you? What do you do? Why is it awesome? And what do you want? And you top and tail every pitch with 3 magic words. The first word is I'm about to speak. You say hello. And you end your pitch with 2 words that mean my pitch is now finished. Clap if it's appropriate. You finish the words thank you. And you can pitch anything to anyone using that structure. And if you don't believe me, email me with a suggestion of something to pitch, and I'll send you a reply as fast as I can back with a short script showing how that method works.
That call to action at the end is so important, isn't it? That you've pitched, but you actually want the people you're pitching to do something.
So a pitch is there designed to influence a group of people or a person. So tell them what you want them to do. Very often, I find if I say to my pitch, please come and talk to me, people will come and talk to me. Generally, we're quite responsive and receptive. But be clear, what you ask for has got to be realistic. If you're trying to sell Ferraris and you've done a 30-second pitch, you're not going to get people coming and buying them. But you might get enough people to come along and have a chat to you, see what you've got, take samples of whatever it is, give people an opportunity. And the key thing in any pitch afterwards is make sure they can contact you. So you've got your business cards, you've got your QR codes, you've got your leaflets. At the end of a session, if you've pitched really well, you might have a few people, others can't get to you. So make sure they've got a way of being able to contact you.
In the world of sales, of course, and this show is Connect, Convince, Convert. If we look at the Connect part of that trilogy, the 30-second pitch is really to connect with your audience. It's to hook them. They're not going to make a buying decision on the back of a 30-second commercial. They're going to have a conversation with you. And that's what you're trying to lure or hook them to do. Whether it's on your awesomeness or whether it's on they've got a problem and you've got a solution that might fix it. That's not driving the buying decision. That's creating the opportunity to have a more meaningful, detailed conversation.
Yeah, and very often a pitch works when you're not trying to sell a product. What you're trying to do is enter a discussion. You want to understand your audience. What problems have they got? You might have a solution. Very often the pitch that goes hard sell, right, I want you to come up here, I want you to look at my product, I want you to buy a product, that can put people off. Yeah. This is about starting a conversation, saying, guys, I'm here, this is what I do, and maybe you want to come and talk to me. And if you achieve that in your pitch, it's absolutely fantastic. You're not going to start to make sales off the back of a 30-second pitch unless you're awesome and you found an audience that really, really want whatever it's you've got. But generally, you're going to start that conversation, that dialogue. But here's the thing. What I've just taught you, that's the easy bit. You've got to do the hard bit now. You've actually got to put it into practice. So take that structure. Hello, who are you? What do you do? Why is it awesome to the audience? What do you want? Say thank you. Go and practice that at your networking sessions. Volunteer to do the minute open spot as you have to stand up and do the 30-second obligatory pitch. Start using that. It works and your confidence will grow.
If people want to know more, want to get in touch with you, how should they do that?
So you can email me. So my email address hopefully will be appearing at the bottom of the screen now. I have a weird thing in my brand. If you email me, something really weird happens. I reply. You will get a reply from me. It's not a bot, it's me personally replying to you. I'll promise you, at the moment my response rate's 45 minutes because I'm sometimes on stage and sometimes sleeping, but I promise you I will reply.
For our audience today, if there was one piece of advice that you could give them that they could take away and they could do it right now, today, in their business, and it would help them, what would that one thing be?
I'm going to give you a question I think you should ask today. And the question is why? You've set this business up and you know what you want to do and you know how you're going to do it and you probably know your business plan inside out. The question I want to ask you is why are you doing this? Business is a weird thing. Most people get a job and go 9 to 5 and you could do that. Easy. Why have you set this business up? What is the goal of this? What do you want? Is it about spending more time with your friends and family? Is it about a lifestyle? Is it about doing good in the world? Ask yourself that why. Businesses that get lost forget what the journey is about, where they're actually going. So my fundamental question to anyone who wants to be successful in business is know your why, know your end point, and make sure you're focused on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Peter. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you here.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
All the best.
This episode of Connect, Convince, Convert was produced and presented by Dave Bird. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, so you don't miss any future shows.